Hey guys, it's Amber, and we're trying something a little different with the lighting, and it's still not quite right. But we'll see what happens. As most of you know, I recorded my first video, last night, and I kind of wanted to talk about that experience and talk about, what happened and what happened after and that sort of thing. Because I think it's important. That was a terrifying experience for me, and one that I am very glad is over. But what happened after I got done, I was very happy and very eager to watch and a little nervous because I wasn't sure how it was going to look, how it was going to, how it was going to be. And so I watched it, and I actually watched it 3 times, and not to be, and not in a narcissistic kind of way. I watched it the first time and realized that about halfway through, it took me halfway through to realize I was picking it apart. I was picking myself apart. And so I stopped, and I caught myself, I stopped myself, and I started over. Well, I didn't start the whole thing over because I wanted to hear like the audio and all of that. I wanted to really narrow down what it was I was doing. And so I did that, and I got through the whole video, but I still picked myself apart. I picked up my hair and the fact that this was wrong or that was wrong, and oh, I sound like a mouse, blah, 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 blah. And so I thought, okay, well, I've got to do this again. So I watched it a second time, and I noticed that it wasn't until 3/4 of the way in that I started picking myself apart. And honestly, by the second time of watching it, I broke down and sobbed for a while. And it was good and it was bad at the same time. I think in a way I was just overjoyed to have gotten it over with. And at the same time, I think that there was a part of me that realized I was talking to myself more. I was talking to you all, obviously. That was the whole point. But at some point during the whole interaction, I realized I was also talking to myself. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was overwhelming. And I didn't expect that. And I think some of that might have been I've spent years and years and years and years helping people through their problems, and that's why I've decided to become a life coach, because I've done this, with friends and family and people around me. I just naturally do this. If somebody comes to me with a problem, I naturally come up with a solution. So, I've spent all of that time and all of that energy and all of that, just energy. What else do you call that? Helping other people, and I've never really stopped to tell myself those same things that I've told other people. The fact that, you are enough. I've tried to tell myself that, but it's one thing to try to stand in a mirror and feel silly about it, or try to have that mental conversation in your mind, and it's entirely another to step outside of yourself and record a video and watch yourself say those things and in a way internalize that. So maybe sometime this week, if you're feeling particularly down, if you feel like you're not enough or you don't have enough or you'll never be enough, whatever you can think of to get yourself off track, why don't you record a video? And in your mind, you want to think of it as, I'm going to send this to makeup a person. And they are going to watch this, and I want them to know that I'm thinking of them and that I love them, and this is my showing of love and reminder to them to do something different, or to always love yourself, and just the words of inspiration that you can think of. Go for it, go get it, knock them dead, whatever you need to do. And instead of sending it to somebody, put it away. And when you're feeling bad and you're feeling crappy and you're down and you're not quite yourself, you're going to pull that out and you're going to play it for yourself. And play it 3 times, because I promise you, the first time you're going to pick yourself apart and you're going to look at things that you don't like about yourself and you're going to be upset and angry and frustrated. Like last night, I couldn't stop staring at my lip. And that was just a thing that kept my attention, because it always does when I look in the mirror. But at some point, I looked away and I looked at my eyes. And I looked at the way my glasses shape my eyes and my hair color and, the way my diamonds glistened in a few of the little shots that I could tell. And it was different, a whole different mindset, a whole different shift in my head. And that's what I want you to do, is find a way to shift your thinking. What I find is that what we think about is what we dwell on, and what we dwell on, we get more of. That whole concept of what you think about, you bring about, or, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Okay? So, sure, there are things about my face that I'm not entirely thrilled about, and things that I would change if there was a way to change them and not change the rest of my appearance. If that makes sense. Probably not. Let me explain. Many moons ago, I could have had a surgery where they took part of my bottom lip and actually put it up on top and closed some of this off. For those who haven't ever seen anybody that looks like this before, I was born with a cleft lip, essentially, and it was a bilateral cleft, meaning that both sides were gone. Most of the time, you just see the one side, and it's not that noticeable, and you can usually get past it. Bilaterals are very hard to not see, as you can tell. And anyway, I had the chance to do that. And I looked at it and I said, okay, where's the scar going to be? And they said, well, you'll have it from here to here and you'll have one up. And I was like, so you're telling me that you're going to give me 2 extra scars and my bottom lip isn't going to look right? They're like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm like, no, we're just not going to do that, because I don't want more scars. The whole, I would go in there and let them sandblast my skin or whatever they do to get the scars to be even lighter than they are, and they're pretty darn light. And the only thing I would ever want is a filler right here. But I'm happy right now, and I really think that I need to be more content with where I am right now, before I go changing anything. And that seems counterproductive, I'm sure. But I think that there's a lesson in being grateful for what you currently have. And there's a lesson in being content. You don't have to want to stay there, but you need to be grateful for the place that you're at right now, no matter how difficult, no matter how shitty, because somewhere there's something positive in that whole scenario, and there's a lesson that you either haven't learned yet or you need to learn. And so you kind of need to think about your circumstances and what's causing those circumstances, and then figure that out, and then you can change. You can still change. It's okay to not want to be in the same place that you currently are. You just don't want to change unnecessarily. That's not the phrasing I want. You don't want to. You need to be happy where you are. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. You just really need to be happy where you are and continue to improve yourself from that point. But if you can't be content where you are, it's that whole, the grass is always greener on the other side. You're going to get over there and something you're not going to like there. And that's okay. We always want to strive to be better, and we always want to strive for something more. But there's a real lesson in learning how to be happy where we are and be content and in love with the process, not just the destination. That's what I was trying to say. Alright guys, well, this one was a whole lot easier to make and a little bit longer. So I'm going to go, and I love you all, and love yourselves more than anything in the world. Love yourselves. And I hope everyone's having had a wonderful Monday, and have a beautiful, or Monday and Tuesday, I guess. I'm way off on my days. Have a great hump day, and hopefully the rest of the week flies by for you, and you have a fantastic weekend as well. Anywho, have a good night. Bye.